The enemy of SPiderham. That's right, not Spider-Man, SPiderham. Because this is not Doctor Doom. This is Ducktor Doom. Coming at you with a brand new custom piece to add to the Extreme Collection. If this is your first time tuning in, we are all about extreme collectibles and some other extreme lifestyle stuff. So go ahead and hit subscribe. It told you to during the intro, but you ignored it. This is a freaky, weird piece. As I said in the intro, this is Ducktor Doom. If you don't know who Ducktor Doom is, you're probably like a lot of people. Ducktor Doom is from a different universe. It's the Spider-Ham universe, which you may or may not know about from the recent Spider-Verse movies. Spider-Ham was in that, and he is the biggest enemy of Spider-Ham in those comics. Obviously, he's a duck, and he's Ducktor Doom. So he's an offshoot of Victor Von Doom of Doctor Doom from the Marvel Comics. This is still Marvel, of course. And I purchased him for a few different reasons. Number one, I love custom pieces and I love thrones. I have a huge collection of that. Go check out a video right here. Now, also with him, he is pairs really well with some other duck pieces that are coming out. So I have the Bat Duck over there, which we'll actually see right next to him at the end of this review. And then I have a Wolverine duck that I have ordered. I can't show pictures yet. Well, I haven't ordered it yet, but once it goes up for PO soon, I will be ordering to add to the collection. But also, I am going to buy from the same commission group that made him, Spider-Ham. Here's a picture of that. And I'm also excited because this is my second piece from this commission group, and their first piece is one of my favorites. It is a 1/4 scale Morbius statue right over here that I've had for quite a while. And a little side note, the new Jared Leto Morbius movie's coming out. I'm stoked about it, just so you know. Now, with him, they made 30 pieces, very affordable price. As you see, he's quite small. He's about the same scale as the Bat Duck, and I assume what most of the other pieces will be. And I'd have to say this is about 1/6. I don't remember the exact size that it was supposed to scale with, but it's about 1/6, maybe 1/5, so it's 5 times or 6 times smaller than what he would be in normal life. Cost on him was right around $375, and I can't remember if that included shipping or not. It may or may not have. If not, shipping wasn't too much because it was a very small box, which I don't have anymore. I did a live unboxing with this piece and another piece. Go check out that video here if you really want to know. Parts-wise, it wasn't too many, which we'll talk about with the design. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump into the review after we measure him. So wide, his widest point is right about 10.5 inches. His deepest part is 12 with the bottom of the throne here. And the throne, probably the tallest part is his head. The throne right around 11.5 inches or so. And I'm not sure where I'm going to display him at. It's either going to be with Bat Duck, which you'll see at the end, or with my throne pieces, and I'll throw them up there in a picture of that at the end of the review as well. So for the review, we use the extreme scale. It's a 1-5 scale. T on the far left is trash, means it's horrible in that category. X on the far right means it is extreme. It is the best out there. And we always start off with concept. When we look at a character, did they nail the concept right? Did they get the reference right? Sometimes there's not a reference, it's just their own direction. This is kind of a combination of both of those from my understanding. So obviously Ducktor Doom is taken from the Spider-Ham universe in the Marvel Comics, and so they have base for the character, and he's sitting in a throne. Doom on throne is a really, really popular statue. First, there's quite a few Doom on Thrones out there. There's what's called the OG or the original gangster sideshow one, which is supposedly 1/4, but in my mind, closer to 1/5. I'm not a fan of this piece. Other people love it, say it's worth $3,000 or $4,000. But that's what's great is having different opinions. I'm a big fan of a custom quarter scale Doom that I actually own. Here's a picture of that guy right here. This is one of my favorite pieces. I think it's awesome. But it's highly probable it is going to be dethroned, no pun intended, by my favorite sculptor, who I have one on order from. Not from him, but he sculpted it. Here is the Franco Doom on Throne piece that I should get in sometime later this year. Unless you're watching this from the future, then I already have it. But so he's in a throne, and he's really showing off his power, and just he's a badass. Doom is one of the most powerful enemies in all of Marvel, depending on what stage in his life is. There's a God Doom and all this other stuff that I don't know too much about, to be honest with you. But he's sitting there. Maybe he's beckoning someone. He's calling them over to him, and he's very stern. It's hard to tell with a bill or a beak. I guess it'd be a bill. He's a bird, but it could be a beak. And this is very cartoonish, which it takes directly from the material. So that makes sense. And his throne is very ornate. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's not as decorative as some of those other ones we looked at, but this piece is not supposed to be. It's more of a simple piece. So I think when we look at the concept of this guy, I think they nailed it. It's fantastically done. It's showing the aspects of Doctor Doom. It's showing a comical aspect of a duck. And I think it's a W, a 4 out of 5, a rail. And keep in mind, if I grade anything with a V, the third category there, that's also good as well. Next thing is the design. We talk about displayability. We talk about switch outs. Did everything go together well? What other features and options does it have? And this is, again, very, very simple. So first of all, if you saw that unboxing, you saw he was 2 pieces. That's it. He's just 2 pieces. One is his arm right here. And I assume this was separated for 2 reasons. One is just when they did the engineering cuts, it was probably better for shipping. But there's also a light up feature that we're going to look at in a second here. So I'm sure that had something to do with it, with corrosion and things like that. The rest is all one piece minus the AC adapter that it comes with for that light up feature. So let's just take a look at that light up feature right here. I don't use light up features. I like when they have an AC adapter though. You can kind of tie it into the lighting that you have set up. So it is a neat option. I don't think it's needed for this statue. Some statues I understand. I'm like, that's a cool option. This, it's a cool option, but I don't think I'll ever use it. And also on that hand, you saw it lighting up. It's kind of the Iron Man type hand, which I don't know how comic accurate that is or isn't. But the nice thing about only being 2 pieces, there's no room for seam lines. There's no room for issues. It was packed extremely well. Kind of an interesting pack. It was kind of, and I mean this not in a derogatory way, it was ghetto packed. Like the foam was just stuffed in there, but it was extremely secure. But because it's such a weird shape, it kind of had to be done that way. One thing is, I don't like, it does take up a decent amount of real estate. It takes up as much space as a simplistic sideshow premium format 4th scale figure, and this is smaller than that, but it is a throne, so you have to keep that in mind. I don't know where they could have cut it down at all as far as the depth here, but when it comes to design, you know, really I think it's good. It's very nice. Nothing to write home about. Next, we talk about the paint and sculpt, and some of the things we'll see in here is some of the stuff on the back that is more conceptual that I didn't talk about because we just looked at a close-up of that. But we'll start at the bottom, go all around, go to the top, and talk about paint and sculpt together, then grade them separately at the end. Excuse me, I burped. It happens. So let's look at the base here. I'm not a huge fan of the colors they used on the base. I like the texturing of it. It looks like real concrete, real stone throne. I like that. I think that's a hit. It's a little too white for me. And I don't know how it would have looked if it was darker like most of the other Doom thrones. Maybe it wouldn't have given it the same cartoon, vibrant pop that it has. So I really don't want to knock it for that, but it's just not my particular taste. I like darker colors in general. And some of the things you look at here, I want to look at some of the statues he has. On the front are, I think these are supposed to be cows with armor on. And I love this bronze effect. It looks like aged bronze, really cool. But I think this is where some of it loses with the previous thing I was talking about. This looks aged, where the paint on the stone does not look aged. So a little bit of a difference there that you do notice, but it contrasts well together. And let's look at the statues in the back. We have some pigs back here. Very cool. I think the paint is fantastic on it. Let's look at the back. We got something going on here. I'm going to start at the top. All this ornate stuff looks really cool, But again, it's the back of the display, and this is not a centerpiece that you'd put on your coffee table, even though I guess it's small enough you could have. So really cool they went all out with this stuff, but you'll never see it, which is kind of a disadvantage. But it's cool that they did go that far. Check out what's going on below here. I don't know what this is. It almost looks like they put a sticker on here because they wanted to paint around it. I don't understand what that is. Maybe someone can enlighten me. I didn't reach out to the commission group yet, but it looks really weird. It looks like it's unfinished. I don't know what that is. It's not a sticker I can peel off, so kind of interesting. Let's move on to Ducktor Doom, and we'll check out his armor first. So he doesn't have the same basic anatomy, obviously, because he's a duck in armor, which you don't run into too often. But let's talk about the color on the armor first. I really like it. It's not too shiny, it's worn, but it's very vibrant like the rest of the statue. And these cool metallic plates on each other look great as well. Very cartoonish, very knight style. Take a look at his arms here. You can see the chainmail underneath it, which looks really good. It's a nice detail, the texturing on it. Same coloring going throughout his hands and his arms. I want to focus on his cape really quick. So he's sitting on his cape, and whenever I see a throne with a character sitting on his cape, usually I don't like it. It's blobbed together. It doesn't flow well. This is a huge exception. I think this cape is done great. I love how it flows. It doesn't look bunched up. There's these different shadings and the greens on it. And the texturization on it really contrasts from his dress that he has. And let's take a look at that. Yes, he's wearing a dress. No texture on here, and I like how that contrasts different from the statue. It's not too much green, but pretty basic color. A little bit of shading in here, not as much as you saw in the cape. Here's his belt. The paint job on this isn't as clean as the rest of the statue, especially around the buckle. Some of the layering on the paint just isn't, I'm not a huge fan of. I like how it's a different metallic color than his armor, though. One other part, I'm going to go back to his throne really quick. Another part I don't like is his armrests. These look like sausages. I don't know if these were supposed to be wood, which wouldn't make sense with all the bronze and stone. I don't know the idea or thought behind these, and I'm not a fan of the sculpt or the paint on this. Really quick before we get to his portrait, he has his classic cape, rope, or tie, or whatever you want to call that. Looks really good. It's this off gold color. Looks like rope tied together. It's fully sculpted. Everything on this statue is. His hood, same feedback I gave you about his cape, I give for his hood. Great texturing, great flow, great shading. And here's his portrait. Really well done portrait. I like, it looks more like it's part of his face, where Dr. Doom wears a mask, and I don't know how comic accurate that is, but I don't care because it looks fantastic. I like the bolts in it. Again, the shading on the armor is fantastic. Looks really, really good. I think it makes this Ducktor Doom pop. As far as his eyes, I really like them. I don't know if that's accurate. My bat duck I have, his eyes are really winced, closed, so you can't see a lot of the white part of the eye or the black pupil. The paint is very basic. It looks painted on. I don't like that, but if you stand about 18 inches or 24 inches back, it's the right art direction with the statue. It adds to that comical feel of it. So regarding the sculpt on this piece, and it's difficult to judge, as I said, it's an armored duck. I think the cape is fantastic. I like the sculpt of most of the throne. The armor's pretty good. There's a few opportunities. And the paint, actually, I'm going to say the exact same things. I like the bronze paint. I like the paint on his cape, on his armor. But, those sausages we talked about, the stone part of the base. And I really don't know what's going on with that thing in the back. It looks like an unfinished piece, but thankfully it's in the back, so I don't really care. I think both of them get a V. A very nice on the paint and sculpt of this piece. It's really hard to judge this next to a OG Sideshow Doom, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, or another custom Doom on throne. So overall, does this statue have the X factor? It does not. It is not a 5 out of 5 statue, but of course, most 5 out of 5 statues are $4,000 plus. So this is a tenth of that price. This is a very, very cool piece. I like it a lot. I like it with the funny characters, whether it's my fatties or the Spiderham that's coming or the other duck pieces, or just putting with my throne pieces. I like that it can go with all that. But I think it's a very nice statue. They only made 30 of them, which is great. It's going to be sought after. You know, the bat duck that they made now goes for twice the price it originally went for. So this may go down that route someday because it is very well made. But those are my thoughts on it. So here's some pictures of him next to some of the other pieces we were talking about. Here, first he is next to Bat Duck. And then this is kind of my goofy character selection. The fatties are over here. And here he is next to the thrones. Check this out. And this is from the future, so I don't know where he's going to go best with, but I'm speculating he's probably going to go best with Bat Duck. And let me move back to the Bat Duck. One thing I do want to address, the scale is very different. And now, like I said, this is not the same line. This is a different commissioner, different producer. Ducktor Doom is bigger than Bat Duck. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Please tune in tomorrow. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and I hope you like Ducktor Doom. Take care.